Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Can We Talk About Your WordPress Projects, where we talk about everything that can save you time and money when it comes to managing your WordPress project. Today, I am joined by Bridget Willard, and I can't wait to talk to her. She's got her hands in many pies. She's going to talk about ways she can help us. Before we do that, I wanted to remind you that this little video cast is brought to you by the WP Project Managers Academy, the only place on the web where you can learn to consistently get your projects completed on time, within budget, with features that meet the client's business requirements without sacrificing profit. I met Bridget Willard over a year ago. She is a marketing consultant as well as a social media manager. She's an author, and lately she created a plugin. We're going to talk to her all about that. So Bridget, now that I've introduced you, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
So I am a marketing consultant. I specialize in managing social media and business consulting with WordPress products and services.
Well, that's very short for all the things you do.
Well, I'm also co-author of this book, The Only Online Marketing Book You Need for Your Small Business, with my friend in Germany, Warren Lane Nida. And then I started COVID by writing this, which is a ridiculous book, but it's funny, whatever. And if you want to know about the behavior you need for managing social media the right way, because the platforms change, but the human behavior doesn't, this is the one you want. If you just want to know how to do Twitter the right way, you want the definitive guide to Twitter marketing, which is available on Amazon as a paper book, Kindle, or a blog post on bridgetwillard.com. And if you want the Kindle version, because the paper isn't out yet, howtomarketyourplugin.com is available now, which is the sum total of my 5.5 years of marketing WordPress plugins.
Dang. And how many of those did you write in the last year?
Well, this was 5 years of blog posts. I wrote How to Market Your Plugin in December.
It's a lot.
I don't have kids or mammals of any kind. No dogs. My dog passed away. Sully was my soulmate. And I've spent my entire life caring for other people, starting from when I was taking care of my little sister to getting married to an older man who already had children. I helped raise my grandchildren, and then dogs, and then he died, and they all died. Now it's just me, which used to be sad, and now it's like free agent. So if James Harden can leave the Houston Rockets and go to the Brooklyn Nets, then I can move from California to San Antonio.
Wow. You've made so many strides in the last 12 months. That's incredible. Okay, so I want to get my questions up here because I had quite a few. And I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. I have not had a chance to look at your plugin. I perceive you as a writer, a social media expert, especially in Twitter. So what made you decide to create a plugin?
I'm a core contributor. Most people don't realize that. Marketers are contributors, and I ran the WordPress marketing team for 2.5, almost 3 years.
What do you mean by you're a contributor? Because there's some people that don't know what that means.
Sorry.
So it's not your fault. I'm just explaining. Some people don't know.
Make WordPress project is open source and is written by, maintained by, and developed by a volunteer base. Think of like your church. And what if we were open sourcing the Bible? It's a giant project like that. But we're translating it. Not as I volunteered to be on the marketing team after Andrea Middleton invited me, and led that. And so things that you see on make.wordpress.org, those are all volunteers. I wrote the copy for WordPress 4.8, and that got me my bracket badge. So what the project gives you little badges according to what you've done. I was a speaker, and I made the marketing team what it is today. I have all those badges. Then I decided to come back and help with core because Mary Baum really encouraged me to do that. And Tonya Mork, they were like, well, the core team needs copy review. So I did those. I didn't have time in 5.7 because we were going like crazy. In 5.6, we were re-updating the standardized text, that starter text in 2019, 2020, which I edited. And I was like, if you can start a theme with text, what if we could have blog post drafts? So that the WordPress developer could give something is pre-installed to their client that would encourage them to use the website. Because I also write copy for websites, and people are always saying, my website doesn't work. But it's a tool, and if you don't pick it up, it's not going to.
That is such a great analogy. That is such a, people could use that in sales talks. That is such a great analogy. It's a tool, because one of the things that I preach is stop asking your clients what websites they like and don't like, because it does not matter. You're talking about design way too early. You need to be talking about the business functions of the website. It is not art. Yes, we want it to be beautiful, but it's not art. It is a business tool, and it needs to be used like a tool, unless you're an artist or a photographer, and then it is about the art.
But it's still about business. This is one thing people don't seem to understand or realize. Understand may be the wrong word. Websites exist for marketing, period. Marketing is communication. The purpose of the website is for the words. And so many of our friends, Beth, wait for clients to give them copy to put on the website so that they can launch it. And they can't get paid unless they launch that website. So I get brought in all the time to write copy for the website. I'm constantly preaching to my friends, don't rely on the client. Bring in a writer in-house. It doesn't have to be me. I don't have time for that. Pick somebody. There's somebody from the WordPress meetup. There's always writers. I always say, launch with words and get paid, because I have a background in accounts receivable and collect. Before I became one of the best marketers in the WordPress ecosystem, I was one of the best accounts receivable people for roofing. I have a construction background. I'm 48. I've been working for 34 years. There's more than a pretty face. You know what I mean? I know you're going to ask me, oh, did you learn how to code? Well, I've been building websites and working with HTML and CSS since 1995, but I've decided that arguing about a hex code is not for me. I built a website for somebody and they're like, we don't like that orange. I'm like, those are literally the 6 digits you gave. So I'm out. I've taken all the front end stuff. I've taken HTML back when it was in an actual classroom. And I've used to build websites with Front Page and Dreamweaver. Then I'm like, yeah, I'm out. So WordPress is like a dream, right? I pinged my friend Ronald Werka from MediaRon. I said, hey, I have this crazy idea. What if we did this? Are you interested? We had one Zoom. He goes, I know what you mean. He did a mind map. He's like, I know how to do this. I'm like, can it just be XML? And he was like, oh, Bridget, bless your heart. That's old, outdated technology. I'm technical from a strategic standpoint because I work with WordPress developers. They are my clients. And I've been marketing WordPress plugins since 2015. So I'm aware of what needs to be done. He was like, no, this needs to be a JSON file. So what happened was he actually built me 2 plugins. There's a plugin that lives on my site because I am the source of truth. I did not want to deal with the REST API. I don't want to deal with hacking. I don't want to be on WordFence's security updates. I want it to be simple. People will install FakerPress or something like that. They have all this fake lorem ipsum. And then what happens? You delete it before you give it to the client, and you have all these messed up tables. How about install something that actually is words you would use or prompts for them to write the blog post, not in the admin, not in all these weird spaces. You can outsource it to your VA and it goes through it. It prompts you on what to do. It's based on my ebook. If you don't mind your business, who will? It has a checklist inside the blog post. So there's no compatibility issues with Gutenberg or anything. It's built to work with Gutenberg. And then as you do those things, like have a featured image, what size it's supposed to be, then you publish it. And boom, people can come to your website. You'll have something to share on the internet, which not as small businesses are like, I don't have anything to share. Well, you need to write something. I don't know what to write. Becomes that scene. I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know.
I've been through this a million times with talking about the content for the actual website itself. There's a list of the reasons clients don't get that done. And one of them is just staring at that blank page. That is so intimidating for folks. Okay, so you had help. You got a developer to help you. And you didn't learn to code. Didn't I see something posted where you were trying to learn to code a little
Oh
bit?
yeah, I'm doing Code Academy PHP, and because I pay attention to the make WordPress updates, cycle releases, things I need to be able to tell my client. That's why I'm a marketing consultant and not some, like code monkey social media version of a code monkey. I don't just press button. I go, oh wow, the admin UI color palette, that's going to change everything for everybody else. No, it's not. And I'm like, ping me up in 3 years when those are required and let's talk. Because that's what I understand things deeply. I get how things work together. I should have been an engineer according to every career test. Literally, I went to school to be a teacher, Beth. And then I was totally distraught because parents are the worst. No offense, but also you are the worst. And then, so I taught math, right? Oh, you guys hate math, so therefore you hate me. I hate this. So I took this test on what the best careers were, 20 careers based on my ability and my personality. And it was 20 engineering jobs. I'm not going back to school,
Right.
Let's pay off one student loan at a time. I realized this is my tribe. I'm an engineering kind of person. I know how things work. So why not do something because that's the other thing is from the construction industry, which is very similar to the web development.
Absolutely.
You want them to keep using you. This whole I'm going to build it and leave thing is really bad for your business. If you just want to do a side work, and that's fine. But if you want that monthly recurring revenue, as everybody likes to talk about in WordPress, it's just called income. But that's fine. We can go MRR and feel smart. It just means you have a cash flow. You want to keep a customer because they're easier to keep than to get. So like you do a roof, now here's our warranty. So, and then also in order to keep that warranty, here's our semi-annual maintenance program, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And, people still to this day, when I see people self-installing satellite dishes or something on their roof, I'm like, did you get that flashed in properly by a roofer? You voided your warranty. And also, do you know what you're doing? It's not my problem, not my circus, not my monkeys, but I want my friends to be able to have stability in their life. I probably derailed you.
My next question was, what business problem does your plugin solve? I think you answered that. But on a larger scale, what business problem does it solve for me, the agency owner? What business problem does it solve for the client?
Yeah, great question. The agency owner has a tool to install for their client. They don't have to install it. They don't have to know anything except for how to be inside of a blog post draft. That's all they have to know.
So it reduces training time.
It reduces training time. They don't have to do some UI. There's none of that. It's just get in there, do it. In less than 2 hours a month, they can publish something. That is what the internet wants, to know that you're still in business. So the agency owner is giving their client the ability to use and see the effectiveness of the thing that they built. Oh yeah, I just got a lead from that. Whoa, imagine that. We're like, oh, that's so great. Kyle, I'm super proud of you for doing that. Here's my bill for next month's maintenance. And the premium version, which we didn't talk about yet, but in the premium version, they're fully written blog posts, which can be customized and localized. And you hand over a website with 12 blog posts scheduled.
If there's two people with the premium version, aren't they publishing the same blog article?
I love this whole duplicate content thing. Excellent question, Beth. First of all, duplicate content's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a penalty. And do you know what's worse than duplicate content?
What?
No content.
True.
Which is what they have now. That's my first answer. That's my funny, winky answer. I spent 2 years working in the franchise industry. And what happens in the franchise industry is they have all these multi-sites, or either on WordPress or something else. The content is written by some agency and it's syndicated down, all duplicated.
Yeah. Every real estate site out there that hooks to the MLS, it's the same stuff, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but not just that. I mean, literally franchises, Win Home Inspection, McDonald's.
My brother owned a Jimmy John's franchise for a while.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
And all of their blog posts, especially in the services industry, especially that, it's all the same. But those franchisees can't edit their content.
Yeah, especially with financial advisors, they are very adamant about you shall not post anything because we don't want you to screw up and get us in trouble.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
true. They're everywhere.
But I mean, he would want to be able to say, when it comes to retiring in San Antonio, Texas, here are some things you might want to know, and you could tweak it a little bit. First of all, that would give them an advantage, but also it can be localized before you give it to the client, or the client can install it themselves and localize it or do whatever they want with it.
Okay, you created the free plugin, but there is also a premium version.
The advantage to the owner of this plugin is they are using their website, which means they're seeing the value of the website, which also helps the agency. For that small business owner, they are sharing content on their social media sites, or they have something for their social media manager to share, which will help them have leads. Also, I'm a huge proponent of content being an internal sales library.
What do you mean by that?
We need to be able to send people to our website even when they're asking us questions. Oh, I want to know about your pricing. Well, thank you very much for asking me about my pricing. Here's a link to my page. And also, here's a link to the video on how I manage your account. It's internal, but it also is available to be found on the internet. So why not kill all those birds with the same stone?
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Can you show us the plugin?
Yes, ma'am.
I think all you have to do is click on share. There we go.
So this is my little blog. I'm going to add a plugin. You can look at this plugin, you can install it and everything. And once you open it, it will tell you, you really need to go over here to get the content pack. Once you install it, this tells you how to use it and everything like this. Okay. So now I have to get a content pack, which I got from my website, and I get my little receipt on the thank you page. Also, there's an email. This is the actual plugin if you came here first for some reason. And that's a starter pack, which I downloaded, and it is a JSON file. I grabbed that from my download inside here because there's a little welcome letter PDF, because I like more information than not enough. Then you import them, and 12 posts have been created. I go back to my all posts, and they're all here. I'm going to go and edit. It's March. It does it in alphabetical order. It's so dumb. I go to edit.
Maybe you should number them. 01 January, 02 February. Then they'd
Well,
be in order.
that's smart. Okay, here's how it works. Here's the draft blog post. The theme is spring and fondness of outdoors and cleaning or luck. Though some of these topics are more closely related to a holiday than others, these types of themes help spring up memories. Why did you start your business? Why is this your passion? Topic type, aim for an article about your business. Think about who inspired you. What was the best business advice? This is asking you questions you can answer. Here, it tells you you need a 1200 by 628 featured image. You can go make it on Canva. Here's the link. All they have to do is click. Save it as a JPEG because that's a smaller size. Name it something that makes sense. You're welcome, every internet builder. Name it with the headline and featured image, and then make the alt tag, right? A 155 character meta description. Don't forget to change the blog category. Don't forget to change the slug, which is called the permalink, a good headline, and click on here to help you write a good headline. Then it says, after you've written 300 words, ensure you have all these items, delete this prompt, delete this, this part right here, delete these blocks because we don't need it anymore.
Now,
right?
will this work with the classic editor?
It should, because it's just a JSON file. So that's pretty much how it works. Yeah.
Excellent. The premium would just be, I'm going to get other starter packs.
Other
packs.
Other packs, yes. By
packs.
industry. So the first one's going to be roofing. It's under $500 for 12 fully written blog posts between 300 to 500 words. But with me, I usually tend to give a little bit more. Like 700 seems to be my jam. And they will have outbound links, proper headings. They're written by me or my friends who are writers who write content for the internet. Once I sell 3 of those, I can afford to hire Jen Miller to write for realtors. And then I have a request for Natural Path, and I have a writer for that. If somebody does niche out in roofing, and they want to be able to use this on more than one site. The cost is $2,000. The developer can install this on somebody's site. They paid $500. They can charge $1,000, $1,200, $2,000. It's up to you. This is a tool for WordPress people. So you have something as a value add that you can also resell, right?
Yeah.
Add some profit on there. And then if somebody does have a request and they don't want to wait, they can pay me $2,000 up front, and I will hire a writer and get it done in 4 weeks. And it will be the same thing. They use the plugin, they install the JSON file, then they delete the plugin because you don't need the plugin anymore. All of those are imported. I don't need that plugin. So I have 10 active installs. That's 9 too many because one of them's me and I'm there right now. You don't need to keep it in there. I don't care about that metric because that's best practice. It's not an active plugin. It doesn't need to be on your site. The people who see the site don't know where it came from. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. What I recommend is that all of those, like say they buy the roofing one, import them all, schedule them for like the 5th of every month. Then the client doesn't really even have to do anything. You could also install the starter pack. There's 12 that are already scheduled. You can do 12 more. And now you're publishing twice a month. Before you were publishing 0.
It gets the client up and going in no time.
Yeah, because it's all right there. It's all simple. It's right there in the blog post. There's no GUI, weird stuff. There's no JSON, no REST API or weird security things. It's just get and go. Get in and get out.
Yeah, Elizabeth Reiher, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but she said she tried it and it worked great for her that she tried it a couple of weeks ago. And Todd says that it does work with Classic Editor.
Oh,
so
cool.
He must have tried it with that. So
thanks,
that's great.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, I can't wait to take a look at this plugin.
I knew once you saw it, you'd be like, boom, Bridget, and it's free. Most of our friends who have WordPress agencies or solo shops also don't blog enough. You need this. Google wants you publishing so they know you're in business or you're not going to be served in this. Here's the thing. Like I always say, content is like meatloaf. Everybody has their own meatloaf. Everybody. There are millions of meatloaf recipes. It's meat, eggs, breadcrumbs, onions, maybe, and mustard. Everybody has their own style.
For all of you watching, we're going to be doing a little bit more of a focus on how to market your own business because it's stuff we teach our clients to do or we put in place for our clients, but then we don't put it in place for ourselves. Like, why don't you have a sales funnel? Why don't you have a freebie you're giving away? There's agencies out there that are getting great success by following their own guidance.
I will say a lot of this came from me networking with my circle and us bartering our services. You need this, I need that. Okay, well, let's do it. That's how I got my ebook done. That's how I got my drip done. And I did things for them and they did things for me. And it was all even keel, easy peasy.
Before we sign off, Bridget, I want you to tell me the links to all your books, how people get them. I really want to look at that one on Twitter for sure. And the keys to being social.
If you go to Amazon and type my name, you'll find my author profile, or you could type keys to being social.
When we're finished, send an email with those links.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to these lives and put them in the comments.
Yeah. But also, just so everybody knows, I made this a book. If you want to pay for it so you can look at it like this, that's fine. It's also a Kindle, but it's also a blog post on my site, bridgetwillard.com/Twitter-marketing.
Either the words in that printed copy are really big, or that's the world's longest blog post.
It's 7,000 words. It's a long blog post. But if you want it for free, you can save it as a PDF or something like that. I want you to be better at Twitter. Twitter is my mission for WordPress because I think they don't understand it. I know they don't understand it. And it comes off know-it-all-y, but it's not meant to be. I'm a teacher at heart. And I know that they could do just a few tweaks. And it makes a huge, huge difference. And when people finally come around, like Rhonda Nagard, she wrote a review on Trustpilot. I was kicking and screaming the whole time. Now I see the value. I mean, it's like planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Yeah, so I might have you back on, Bridget, to talk more
I
about
would love it.
social media and Twitter, because again, it's something we don't use enough. You hear developers all the time, I hate Twitter, I hate Facebook, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. You're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't care what websites you like and don't like.
Like,
What?
do you like
Yeah.
money? Do you
Yeah.
like clients? Do you get referrals?
Yeah, but people will say, well, my clients aren't on Twitter. No, your clients might not be on Twitter, but somebody who might refer you is probably on Twitter, and you're networking amongst your group with the bartering and stuff. Just like you said, all the WordPress people are on Twitter.
And guess what? There's no word camps anymore. I don't care if they're online. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
Okay. Also, this is another thing that people don't realize. Go Google Bridget Willard. Just put Bridget Willard up there. You're going to see probably my Google My Business, my website, maybe some books, but you'll also see tweets, because tweets are indexed. It's easy way to help your SEO strategy by constantly tweeting out your blog posts. I installed Revival Post, which is one of the plugins in Plugin Madness, by the way. If you're watching live, go to Torx, Plugin Madness, and vote for Launch with Words. I made it to the first round, but Revival Post is free. It's a lifesaver. You can tell it by, I'd recommend having an odd number, so it's not 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. So it's always the same. Do you need Twitter followers for the SEO? That's a great question, Andrew. So you do not need a great number of followers for the SEO, but you need to be active, because Google likes this. Just think of them as a metronome.
So Google will find that tweet because it's indexed, even if nobody's liking it or sharing it. Everyone should know that. But I think people think,
no, they don't
well,
think.
I've got to go build this huge audience on Twitter if I want to get any SEO traction from it.
You can get this blog post or book and then do it 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes in the morning. And if you want to level up, do it 10 minutes after lunch, and just work it into your workflow. Don't follow all the political rabbit trails and the drama. Talk about what makes you an expert. I've talked about bourbon, but that's something for you to talk about to me about, but I'm also a bourbon snob, right? I'm not talking about golf.
No, but you did start talking about wine.
Oh yeah, because Bridget Tries Wine is ridiculous. It's funny. I still have a bunch of episodes to make, and now I have another back order of wine, and I haven't made those videos.
Those are hilariously funny. I love them. Bridget has a plugin I think is going to help everybody. I know I'm going to get it. She has books that can help you with your social media. And it seems like there was one other thing. What was it? You have a weekly podcast too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm the co-host of the Smart Marketing Show. Jason Tucker and I have been doing that for 5.5 years on the WP Water Cooler Network.
I've had this question for a while, and I'm glad you're on here so I can ask. What is the WP Watercolor Network? I always thought your podcast was called WP Watercolors.
WP Water Cooler is the flagship podcast. It's all those guys being Seinfeld, talking about nothing, making a subject up and then blah, blah, blahing about it. They all talk over each other, and that's their brand. But we have a marketing show also on that same network. They also have Dev Branch, and there's also The Query. There's a bunch of different shows on that network. It's wpwatercooler.com or WP Watercooler on YouTube. But look for the Smart Marketing Show.
What is Groundhog?
It's a CRM. It's a competitor of HubSpot, and it's pretty badass.
Oh, cool. I'll be interested to tune in to watch that.
Canadian WordPresser.
Robert Jacoby says WordPressing and WordPresser are going to become verbs. They're going to become part of the normal language, like Googling. We'll see if that happens. Bridget, thank you so much for coming and joining me today. It was so good to see you again. I wish we could physically hug, virtual hug. Everybody who's watching live or on the replay, if you could just type in that you watch live or the replay, that's helpful for me. Watch your email and watch the Facebook group. I'll be posting when these other trainings are coming up. Until I see you next time, stay productive, stay strong, and never stop learning. Bye, guys.